Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. This is How Was a Race. Today we have on Heather. Heather is a Hall of Famer in the race class. She's done over 100 half marathons. She's closing in on 113. As of this recording, it'll be tomorrow, but by the time you hear it, it'll be in the past. Her and I together have ran Derby Marathon in Louisville, Kentucky, Monumental Marathon in Indianapolis, Indiana, Fort Bend Marathon, and it's on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It's at Lawrence, Indiana. Okay. And she's done the Indy Mini. Her and I have both done the Indy Mini, and there's a few other races that we've done not together, but we've both done. But today, I'm bringing her on so that we can talk about Glass City. Glass City Marathon, half marathon, is a race in Toledo, Ohio. It is held in April. It's often people double up that race with the Derby Marathon. It's about a 4-hour drive between the two, 4 maybe 5-hour drive, but about a 5-hour drive between the two. And on certain years, people do double up those two races. But Toledo, just to give you a little reference there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and enjoy the beer and enjoy the race, and let's talk about the Glass City Marathon. How did you first hear about the Glass City?
Probably at an expo, walking around and seeing the different vendor booths set up. And there was probably one there, and I was always into the medals. It's like we're not there anymore, but we had a little group. We were called the Medal Whores. And that was our thing. We were always about the medals. So, like, of course, it was a race that had a challenge set up, which, not just a medal for the half, but a medal for the 5K and a medal for doing both of them. Of course, I'm going to do that.
Yes. This year you're getting the Indy Challenge, Indy Athlon Challenge.
Yeah, I get every year I'll get the Indython challenge since I do the half at Fort Bend and the half at Monumental. This year I think there's going to be a little bit extra because I did the 5K earlier in the year.
Oh, okay.
And then they apparently just redid their legacy program, so I'll be getting the 10-year legacy this year.
I think I qualify for the 10-year legacy. My first year doing the Monumental was 2016, but they didn't have the Monumental in 21.
20.
20, yes. 20, yes. 21 is when I did the full. Yeah. So I think, so I don't qualify. I mean, I've done it 10 years. Well, I guess I haven't. I've only done it 9.
Yeah, what is this? This is 2025. So 10 years ago, been 15. So 2014, it was actually the first year I did. It's actually my first half marathon ever was this one.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So anyhow, not talking about Monumental.
Right.
Which the tagline of this show is Tangents. So you hear about the Glass City race through different races and the medals, which, I mean, let's be honest, most of us do things for the medals. How was the registration process, or do you even remember?
I really don't remember. If I try and remember right, they had an option, which is probably the one I selected for the multiple races to do the challenge specifically. But as far as the actual registration process itself, I don't remember because either it was already pre-filled for me or I clicked the button, and because of the way the settings are on my phone, I just pulled up everything and I clicked it and it filled it in.
Yes, that happens so often.
Some of us don't have desktop computers because we run Windows 7 still.
Oh my God. I didn't think anything recognized Windows 7. Whew, blast from the past.
Half the websites don't. That's what the phone is for.
All righty. So, okay, so you're so the registration is the easy process. Now the year you did it, how many times have you ran Glass City?
I believe 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to say twice, but for some reason I think it was 3, but not 100%.
Do you always do the challenge or just the first year?
No, if I'm going to Toledo, because it's a 2.5-hour drive for me, I'm always going to do the challenge.
Okay. Okay, okay. So you have the challenge. What? Well, we'll get to the medal later on, because normally, I mean, because I want to ask what the medal looks like, or if you recall what the medals look like, but I mean, we'll get to that part later on in the post race fun post race activities. But okay, so getting to the races, well, getting to the 5K, because I assume the 5K is like the day before.
Yes.
Okay. How is it getting to? Is there a lot of people at the 5K?
It's more than what you think. And but it's a different crowd. So at the next day at the actual race with the half and the full, you have your more serious runners, your typical running crowd. At the 5K, it's a lot more for the casual runner, a lot more people that are just there to walk it, just to get out and get doing something.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely less than there will be the next day, but there's still quite a few people.
Okay. Is there much traffic getting? So I guess there's less people. I mean, there's still people there, but less.
Right. Um, I always plan accordingly if I have to drive to a race, as opposed to being able to just take a shuttle bus or be in a downtown to where I can walk to it. Um, so for that one, I was able to cut it closer to start time for the 5K just because of less volume and the roads not closing down as early.
Yeah.
um and that one was pretty uneventful. I do remember the last time I went up there for the half. Again, pretty painless process, but they were directing where to tell you where to park to try and streamline it and everything.
Okay.
Got there really early though, so I could make sure I got a parking spot, because there were times I was seeing people come in and turning around and going right back out because
Oof.
there was nowhere to go, and it was getting close to race time, so I'm like, oh, I don't know what those poor people are gonna do.
That'd be. There's been a few times I've cut it a little bit closer than I should have. uh, yeah, there was one race I parked at the finish and then I ran to the start, which was about a half mile or so. And I get to the start, and it's a smaller race. I think that year is like 150, 200 runners. We'll say 250. And I got to the start line as they were singing the national anthem. And then, so I was there for all of a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and the gun went off. And that is definitely not something you'd want to do. I mean, with a 200-person race, a smaller race, you can do that. But if it's 1,000, which I mean, for the half and full, how many people are in that? Do you roughly?
For the Glass City.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's one of the larger ones that's out there. Um, I'm really bad with numbers, but I would say it's probably a couple thousand for the half, and you're probably doubling it for the, or I'm sorry, a couple thousand for the full and doubling it for the half.
So
So
probably about the size of Derby Marathon.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So Derby's about the same, and so that yeah, that's Derby Marathon. Probably. Have you done Blue Ridge Mountain?
I'm not.
Blue Ridge. Oh, okay.
No, I have not.
And then you can't really compare it to that. Um. So the 5K, it's probably one aid station if that. Porta potties at the beginning and at the end. It's a little simpler of a loop. I mean, not to. We're not going to disrespect 5K distances. We don't disrespect any distance in this podcast, but the focus of this podcast is halves and fulls, not fives and tens. Although um, we will speak on them when they're relevant, when they're part of the thing. So you do the 5K, you finish that bad boy up, and then you go about your day. Um, well, the expo. I totally skipped over the expo.
Oh yeah.
How was the expo hard to find? Well, I guess it probably ain't hard to find. A couple thousand people raised.
Right. Yeah. I can't remember it at all from the first time I did it. The last time, what I remember is the last time I was there. The hotel I stayed in was the host hotel.
Okay.
And the expo was connected right to the hotel. So for
But
me, there was no locating it. It was right there. I got to go in the special door with my awesome key card instead of having to go around like everybody else did. Um, sometimes I'm a bad person to ask about expos because I'm just like streamline. Let me just go get my stuff and get out. Because I've been to so many races that I'm like, I know what all these are. Either I've already going to the race, or I've been to the race, or I have
Yeah.
no interest in your race, or it's I don't need to buy your shoes. Or, you know, um,
Yeah.
but if I remember that one, it was a little disappointing the last time I was there with
Okay.
the expo. It was and I don't know if that was because of location, because if their normal place that they set up in wasn't available.
Yeah.
But the last time I was at their expo was a little small. Not a lot of vendors.
And that, I mean, that there's different reasons that different conventions are coming into town and things are changing. So sometimes things happen. And you and I both know that. I'm just speaking to those out there who may not be fully aware that, I mean, Monumental, I've done Monumental, we almost 10 times, and it's been in it's always been in the convention center, but it's been in 3 or 4 locations in the convention center.
Yep.
This year, I think is the largest that I have seen for their space, but I haven't been inside it. I walked past it or whatever, but either way, tangents. I get that for when you do enough expos, you don't really lollygag as much typically. Well, I do because I look at the other race medals. If Derby is there, or if I'm not at Monumental and Monumental is there, I try to see if I know the person or whatever. But other than that, it's get in, get out. Um, but it's a pretty good size that they most likely have socks, shorts, probably shoes somewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just sometimes people travel and they forget a flask, a water flask, or
I always forget my energy chews. Always. I remember them this time, but I
yes.
always forget them. And I always see somebody I know and I just go, I forgot my shoes. And they're like, you forgot your shoes. Oh my God. I'm like, no, 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 not my shoes. It's like the first thing I pack. No, my shoes.
I remembered I got my nutrition. I picked up some Tailwind a few weeks back, and I love Tailwind and the flavor of it. Like I do gels sometimes, but uh, or the chews, but the Tailwind nutrition, it's a I like their flavors. I throw it in my water bottle, or I have like 18-ounce flask. I throw it in that, and like I have a what is it? Salted watermelon, which is I love it. A lot of people people go either way. Then there's a tropical fruit punch. There's yeah, I don't know. When you're I mean when you're out there for 3 or 4 hours, when you're drinking a lot of Gatorade, to me, the flavor just gets overpowering after a while.
Yeah, I'm not a Gatorade fan.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Until I started doing marathon, the one marathon I've done, I actually never carried any sort of nutrition with me.
Oh wow.
It was when I was training the marathon. They said you're gonna be out there for a while. You're gonna need to have something. I'm like, no, no, you're right. I will. You're not wrong. So that's when it was the time to try out different things and see what I like. Because I cannot get past the consistency on goo gel type things. They make me want to hurl. I just can, and it has nothing to do with the flavor. It is just the consistency.
So goo is thicker. Try Science and Sport, I think it is, SIS or Mutane, I think it is, Martin Mutane. They're and if you can find Gatorade Endurance gel, it is much thinner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I was
But
gonna say, the one thing that I found were the gummy type chews were the things that I like, but they were always so hard. Stick on your teeth.
yeah, oh god,
The ones that actually I found are the best are honey stingers.
ooh,
They're gummy chews, and their best flavor, to me, the best flavor is the pink lemonade. So
oh,
I'm a citrus person, so to me that's the best one. But I noticed that just by seeing wrappings on the grounds at races, I could tell the tropical punch is a very popular flavor.
yes. Okay, so we've gone to the expo. Now we're going to the main event. Um, We got several thousand people there. I assume parking is. Are there many parking garages nearby? Or is it?
It was all surface lot because the race happens at the campus at University of Toledo.
Oh, okay.
So it starts right outside the university, but it ends actually inside their football stadium.
Oh, cool.
Like it's one of those that claims we end on the 50-yard line. Like, ooh, to me that's not a selling point, but ooh.
I mean, okay, it won't turn most people away. It might draw in a few, but it most likely won't turn people away.
True.
So have you done Hall of Fame?
Canton,
Pro
no.
football?
I can't remember. It's always a conflicting weekend. There's always something on that weekend. I can't remember what it is.
I don't know. It might be a derby. I can't remember.
I can't remember. I almost want to say I think it is Derby.
I've done. We have, especially in the Ohio area, we have so many races that we have knowledge of that it's hard to remember all these different ones. I feel bad for the listeners sometimes because they're inundated with so much extra information from extra races. But I mean, if you listen to my podcast, if you go through my shows, you'll see the other races eventually. So don't worry, they're coming, or they're already there. So you find surface lot. Yeah. You arrive fairly early.
Yeah. Depending on what race it is, then it'll vary. But for that one, I got there pretty early just to make sure I could get a parking spot right there because I didn't want to walk. Because by the time I do a half, by the time I'm done, I'm done. Like it's like you just did 13 miles. You seriously can't do another 20 feet to your car? No, I cannot. I cross that finish line. I want to be as close as possible to my car so I can get back to the. And that's another thing is because it takes me so long, I have to get back to my hotels immediately because of checkout. So some hotels will graciously give you late checkout, some do not. They will say, nope, absolutely not. And that's a real issue when it takes you, 3.5, 4 hours to do a half marathon. And when everybody else is doing it in like 2, and you're like, I need to hurry up and get back because I'm not driving like stinky.
Yeah, no. Okay, so we go to the race. Race starts. That race, is there organized corrals or is it one big corral, like an open corral, or is it?
It's self-seated, I believe.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was assigned corrals or self-seated corrals. That part I can't remember, but I do remember they did a pulse start.
Okay. Which a lot of races, to my knowledge, started that a few years back, where the first wave and second wave might be 3 or 4 minutes apart, and then it's like 5 minutes apart. And from what I understand, it really helps the aid stations clean up a little bit, especially the first 1 or 2 aid stations clean up and fill water bottles with cups of water. Anyhow, so race starts. Lots of porta potties around there at the start line.
If you ask me how long I waited for a porta potty, and if I have to wait more than 10 minutes, there's not enough porta potties. I mean, they'll boast and say like, we have over 300 porta potties. I'm like, it's not enough. I'm like, if I'm waiting, it's not enough.
Yes,
I mean, I'm sure there was a sufficient amount, but yeah, I do remember having to wait and then starting to get nervous. Like, come on, people. Just go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Hey, I will say, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so we can speak as frankly, as honestly as we want to, because nobody's going to pull any funding because I have none. So, yeah, 10, 15 minutes, you're kind of like getting antsy in the pantsy, and I get that.
I'm that person that I will, if I 15 minutes before a race is when I'll start. And if I can get through that line in 5 minutes, I'm going and getting right back in that line because I know me. And I'll have to go like 3 or 4 times before the race. Now, I'm okay because I'm in the back of the waves.
Okay.
I'm like usually in that corral 4 or 5. So I'm okay if they start the race and I'm still in the bathroom because I know it's going to be another 10 minutes before I can even get to the front.
Yeah. So race starts. How's the first section? Usually I'd say like for a half marathon, I'd say how's the first 5-6 miles, but I don't know if there's like a certain Like, how's the race start out? Let's just start there. Heck, like, is it more of a flat race? Is it more because
I
you're by the
believe
campus?
Yeah, I believe it's actually starts on an uphill. But it's Toledo. It's not
Oh,
Cincinnati, you know. We're it's a hill, but we're talking a Toledo hill. So it's uphill, but it's not horrible and it's real short.
oh,
Toledo, it was mostly flat. So as soon as you crest that hill, it's just more going through not really the campus, but just around it, and then you go into a neighborhood area. Um, so I'm trying to remember what crowd support was like. 'Cause I mean, I think once you get away from the main start line, finish line, there weren't that many people until you got to like some of the areas in the neighborhoods where they just decide they want to have a random beer party at 7 in the morning.
it's always fun seeing people who decide to wake up early and start cracking them open. So, how long are you do you how long are you with the marathoners?
Ooh, that one's a toughie. Let me think. I think they split around mile, I want to say 7 or 8 or maybe 10.
Okay.
It was somewhere in that area. I think they split because I remember a split, but I also remember the half marathoners did an out and back for like just like 2 or 3 blocks.
Oh,
So it was like we just like went around the block, I think, but the marathoners I think just kept going.
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, because that's what it was, is that we came up to the split and we turned left, and then the marathoners turn right and
But it
have like probably 15 more miles of torture. Tell you what, it's never more happy that I can say I'm in single digits.
it does hit single digits pretty early in the half,
Mm.
which is something to yeah.
I was gonna say, but not to discourage anyone, because it is a completely different mindset when you're gonna actually do a full. You know what I mean? When you go out there to do a half, you're there like, thank God I'm only doing 13 miles, and you're like, thank God I'm in single digits now. And but when you're doing a full, it's a completely different mindset. You're not thinking, oh God, I have to do 20 more miles. You don't get to that stage
No.
until you actually hit like, I have a 10K left. That's usually when that hits.
Yeah. Usually for me when I did derby, when I do derby and there's a timing for 13:1 and you're almost at the furthest point from the start finish line and you're back at Iroquois Park and I'm like I could be done right now. Like I could have been done. And then that passes and I keep going. And then yeah, usually around mile 19, 18, 19, 20, that's when I start. All right. Because for me, from my house to, there's a gas station. From my house to a gas station and back is 8 miles. It's one of my regular training runs. So once I get to 8 miles left in my head, I'm gas station and back. And then it's uh, from 8 miles, then it's 6 miles or 10K. And that's, I know the intersection. So I'm like, okay, to this intersection and back. And then it's 5 miles, which is, okay, this street and back. And then this street and back. And then it's bathroom and back. And then it's cul-de-sac and back. And then it's cookie house and back. Cookie house and back is 1 mile.
Cookie House sounds like a good stop.
It really, oh God, that lady was so awesome. I love her. She made cookies for the neighborhood and she left them out. And like on Tuesdays, I would run. Mondays was my long run day, and Tuesdays I would go to her house and back, which was just about. If I went past her house by 2 houses and came back, it was 1 mile. So Cookie House was 1 mile and back, and then stop sign is a quarter mile out and quarter mile back. So like we break it down, you know, like you say, you get single digits, you got tangents.
I was gonna say, no, I know what you're talking about because where I used to live, it was a mile to the Xavier University campus and a mile back. So I know that was 2 miles. Of course, it was all hill, so felt like a lot longer.
So I mean, but that's different things you could do to break up give your goals within goals, because I mean, let's be honest. For some of us, for a lot of us, not some, for a lot of us, a marathon is still a mental thing, almost more than physical, almost. And it's the willingness to be out there. I mean, I'm looking at doing my slowest marathon next weekend at probably 7+ hours, and it's I know it's going to be a mental challenge. It's not going to be the physicality. I've already done it 29 times. It's not new. I know what I'm in for. I don't know why the heck I'm doing it halfway in, but I've paid the money. So here we
That's what
go.
I've always said. I've always had the endurance. It was the speed. So they said I did it. It took me 8 hours and 15 minutes, but I did it.
Oh, Little Rock. Little Rock.
I've heard that.
Yes.
I've heard that.
Yeah, they have a 6 to 8 hour start. They have an 8 hour start and then a traditional 6 hour cutoff start with the mass group, I should say, not regular.
Yeah. And not that we're talking about the pig or anything. That was where the one I did my full, because they will keep the finish line up until the very last person crosses.
Oh.
So, yes, I did have to get on the sidewalk. Completely was okay with that because I knew I was going to be behind the cutoff. And I said, yep, nope, that's fine. They're like, you're doing great. Can you get on the sidewalk? Yep, I absolutely will, because it is my fault. I am slow. But yeah, I get down to the finish line, and nope, that finish is still up. They still have the main street closed, and they just leave that finish line up until everybody crosses.
That's awesome.
Even if their permit's already run out, they will keep it up.
That's great. The city works well, or they have, I don't know. Let's just hope the city caters to it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they know how much money that thing brings in every year.
Yes, gosh. But getting back to glass in Toledo. So you're going through the race, you split off. Is there a lot of a lot of history that you're passing by? Is there what type of course is the course mainly residential?
Yeah.
Or is it more?
No, it's mainly, unless you're by the campus, it's mainly residential. The part where the split is on a bike trail. Or I can't remember if you utilize the bike trail or if you're just right next to it. But yeah, it's all residential. Like, I don't really remember any industry.
Okay.
I don't remember anything historic.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
And then you come back through the University of Toledo campus.
Yes.
What's the campus? So, the whole race, we've only talked about one hill. Is it pretty flat? The whole course?
Yeah, the whole thing is pretty flat. There's a little bit of hill, and I remember there's one hill where they have like the halfway timing mat or something, and there's like this huge party in this neighborhood, and their thing is pickle juice. They will have pickle juice sitting out in Dixie cups and everything. The whole area smells like pickles, which I like the smell of pickles, but I cannot stand the taste. So I'm just like holding my nose running through it because it's overwhelming. But there's a hill right there in front of this house that does the pickle thing, and I'm like, of course, right there. And then I remember I think you passed the Toledo Zoo. Trying to remember that.
Do you run in the zoo?
No.
Okay.
Don't do that. But if I remember that hill, excuse me, I think it's that one where the hill comes back up towards the race, and it's a rolling hill.
Okay.
It's not insane rollings, but it's rolling.
Have you done Rock and Roll Marathon, Cleveland, Ohio?
Yes.
Is it is the total course about like that type of hillage?
Yes.
Okay. So,
yeah, I would say they're pretty similar.
Okay, so less than Fort Bend, more than Indianapolis. Yes. Okay. I'm just trying for people who are less familiar with one particular race. It's definitely going to be less than Blue Ridge. That's a guarantee.
I've never been there where you see Blue Ridge and I'm like, it's a mountain. It's a mountain.
It's for the half, it's 1,986 feet of elevation gain, not change, gain.
That's a no. That's a hard pass.
It is America's hardest road race.
Right.
It is an amazing race.
You would think from me being from Cincinnati, I'd be all normal with hills, but no, I hate hills. Absolutely hate them. I can feel the slightest incline.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "You're from Cincinnati, you should be able to do hills." I'm like, I didn't say I couldn't do them. I'm just like, I can feel them. I know when we're doing them. I'm really slow at them.
So how are the aid stations throughout the course? Are they fairly at a regular interval, like a good interval?
Um, if I don't remember them, so that must mean they were pretty normal. Because I wouldn't remember it if it was laid out pretty normal, but I remember it if they weren't laid out normal or they
Yeah.
cleaned up early or something like that.
Yeah. If they shut down early, if there's every 4 miles, then you're like, oh,
Right.
I'll remember this.
Right.
But if it's every mile and a half to 2 miles,
Yes, and that's happened to me before. Like, I'm literally the sweeper. I'm having my sign that says sweeper, and I get to the water station, I'm like, "Where is it?" "Oh, we thought the last person went by." I'm like, "Sign, sweeper, no."
hey, they're volunteers. They don't always know the full details. It's we thank the volunteers for as much as they do. They Some of them more experienced volunteers than others.
Yes, this is true.
I'll be volunteering for my local 5K because my knees and ankles will be bashed up from my full. So I want to volunteer. I'll probably be the lead bike. But if I make a wrong turn, I'm gonna try to get familiar with the course. But like, I'm a volunteer, dude. Like, deal with it. That actually happened here at Monumental.
That was a few years ago.
Yes,
Yes.
it was when they added in the block at like mile 8 or 9,
Yes.
and only one person ran the actual course. Everybody else missed the. It was you made a right, left,
Yep.
left, right to go around this one block.
Yep.
And but it's that anyway.
I was
We'll
gonna say, and yet somehow I didn't care because I had already done 13 point something because I don't run the tangents.
So you're coming in. You're coming into the finish. What is the finish like? Is it a big? Is there like a party scene, a DJ? Is there a lot of
So
food?
yeah, so that one finishes inside the stadium. I can't remember what the name of the stadium is up there, but they're a Division 1 school,
Oh, okay.
so it's a big size stadium. So they got music going on, the normal PA speakers, and there's not a lot of people spectator wise because it's one of those things where they don't allow spectators in. It's like the spectators are on the concourse where the
Yeah.
food is and the after party and stuff. But as far as people sitting in the stands watching it, that's more if there's runners who've only made it halfway up the stairs and need a moment to rest. But yeah, it's when you come up, like I said, it's rolling hills, and then you make a turn, and it's just the road to the parking lot, and it wiggles you around into the actual stadium. Like you go down into the tunnel where like the players would come through, or like they would pull a medical card out onto you. Go down like through that tunnel out onto the field.
Oh, okay. There's a okay. I'm thinking of different races that you either finish or run through.
Mm-hmm.
Koufax, you run through Mile High Stadium where the Broncos play.
Mm-hmm.
Koufax is in Denver, Colorado. However,
Didn't know that when you said the Broncos. No idea.
hey, I'm just not everybody out here is football fans or knowledgeable. But it's roped off. You can't. You can if you stop, you can put your foot underneath the rope and touch the turf, but you can't. You don't run on the field, but you do run inside the stadium at Colfax.
Mm-hmm.
But K-State in Manhattan, Kansas, K-State and Marshall and Huntington, West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and then Pro Football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio. You actually run on the grass or turf or whatever.
Yeah.
But Canton, no pro team or college team really plays there. It's just
Right.
they have memorial games and
Yeah.
high school games, but no.
Yeah, pro teams are a little more sensitive about that. I've done 5K at the Red Stadium before, and you finish in the stadium, but you have to stay on the warning track. Like, you are now, they have ropes up so you can't go on the grass. Like, I've gone to bark in the park with my sister before and her dog, and again, you walk the parade on the warning track. Like, you are not allowed to touch that grass.
They probably have spotters out there to make sure you clean up after your dog.
They actually have a group that goes to those things, that's advertising their wares, or like that's their job, is they go and pick up dog poo out of people's lawns and stuff like that if you want to hire them. So they literally are following the entire parade to clean up after all the dogs, because no, people just walk and like, nope, we saw that, and just keep on going.
Yeah, gosh, we won't get into that tangent. So you come in, you finish, you're inside the stadium. The medal, because you ran it this year, correct?
2 years ago, I think.
Oh, okay. So
but it generally does have the distance on it. The marathon medal is, of course, slightly bigger than the half medal. It's pretty standard for all races. I think, if I'm trying to remember what the year I did it, it had a picture of their bridge that, I don't know, I guess it's a famous bridge in Toledo. And it was, if I remember right, it was colored like in green and blue. Like they just like toothpick color, you know, somebody just took a toothpick and colored them into that deal. So nothing splashy, just a little bit.
And that the full, it appears to be about a 4 or 5 inch medal.
Yeah, they were, it was fairly big. It was one of those, when I bring it home and my husband sees it and he's like, good God. Sometimes I bring them home and they're massive. Sometimes I bring them home and I'm like, seriously, could they not have afforded anything big? But I think that was one of the ones that was fairly large.
Okay. Now how did you celebrate? What's your post race celebration, or do you have a
again, because I got to give back to my hotel usually.
Yeah.
I don't have much of a post race. With that one, it was, you know, climbing up the stairs to get out of the stadium when you've already done that. That's why, I mean, I'm here complaining I've only done 13 miles, and here's the person that just did the full, because I'm finishing when all the fulls are finishing. So, you know, here's somebody that just did the full and he's waddling, not even complaining, and I'm complaining after doing the half, like. So, you know, you get up onto the plaza, and that's where they have like the after party set up. They have a band set up there.
Oh, okay.
Giant medical tent if you need it. Giant VIP area if you pay for it, which in April may not be a bad idea if you really want to spring for it, because it's heated. Oh. And in April in Toledo, I do remember it snowing when I was leaving to go back to the hotel.
Oh, wow.
So it depends on what you want your experience to be on that. I thought it was, the first year I did it, I thought it was just because it was a special year. They gave us a glass mug when I did their 10-year anniversary. I thought that was just because it was the 10-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
But then when I did it again, they actually gave us another glass. I guess that's something they do every year, is actually give you glass when you finish, as like a finisher gift.
Yeah. Well, because some races, okay, Derby Marathon, Derby is the Kentucky Derby.
Mm-hmm.
You have Monumental Marathon in Indianapolis, and it runs around the different monuments in Indianapolis. Flying Pig, I forget if I was told I don't know the backstory for that one. I can't remember.
That one is just literally called that because of the history of Cincinnati. When we used to be called Losantaville, that was the original name for Cincinnati, was Losantaville.
Oh.
We were like the pork capital of the world because it was right on the Ohio River. So they brought the pigs down the Ohio River. They'd stop in Cincinnati, and that's where they got slaughtered, right on the river and everything. So our nickname was Porkopolis. So yeah, so
okay,
yeah, that's, you know, and then they would just go on back down the river to go to their next location or whatever. So that's how it got the Flying Pig, was just because.
Okay, and then Glass City, that's where. Is it Corning glasses?
Owens Corning, yes. Yes, they have the Pink Panther there. I have a picture on my Facebook page somewhere in the archive of me with the Pink Panther.
I seen the Pink Panther on one of the medals, and I was like, okay, this must be a different race. But
no. In fact, I'm trying to remember if it was the 5K that had the Pink Panther on it, or if it was the challenge medal that had the Pink Panther on it.
It would.
But it was one of the medals that I got had the Pink Panther on it. I was like, this is my favorite one, just because.
Oh man, that was. I mean, that's we're suckers for challenge medals.
Yes.
We are.
The best part is when you're in that after party and you're walking around and it's clink, 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 clink.
Okay, so and then you finish up. You do the you hurry up to your hotel,
Yeah.
and then you just boot scoot and boogie out of town. Do you stop and eat somewhere?
No, I mean, usually I just have my routine when I leave. I'll get on the road for a little bit and then I'll stop somewhere to, usually it's like a speedway so I can get my Coke icy, because there is something about doing that and all I want is Coke.
Yeah.
Like a Coke icy just hits the sugar spot.
Okay. So I usually when I did Fort Bend, I go past the interstate and there's a speedway, and speedway has this 0-calorie recovery drink. And it's a recovery drink, and they have it on the fountain at a lot of places, a lot of the speedways. And it's electrolytes, it's I guess it's not sugar, it doesn't have the sugar, the glucose, but it has your potassium, your magnesium, and your potassium, magnesium, and sodium. So I don't know how big of a difference it really makes. I assume it does, but like when I do like my house, or especially like because Fort Bend and Glass City, it can be snowy or it can be 80 degrees.
Yes.
It's the Midwest. Welcome.
Right. Yes. Yes. But yeah, no, clearly I have issues with sugar intake. And let's just say it's like training. What's training? I don't do training. My training is my weekends. I do something every weekend. So that is my training.
I need to talk. Some of these people like can, but he's in like 600 or 700 marathons. And when I met him, he ran a marathon the day before, and then he was running that marathon. He's ran like 5 or 6 marathons, back to back to back to back. And I'm like, do these people Monday through Friday, do they? Well, he actually runs a 5K a day. He actually had a stroke while running he thought he was having a stroke, ran a 5K on his treadmill, and then the next morning he called 911. It was a whole process. I'll edit all that out, hopefully. Yeah. He's a tough guy. He sweeps a lot down.
Mm-hmm.
He runs with a jogging stroller.
Okay.
I don't know if you had seen him.
Okay. I don't know. I may have.
I think now he has like stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So like, I think he's not running at all.
Yeah.
I think he's like, so, okay. So I do ask, and I don't see anything on your wrist currently. Do you use any training device? What watch do you run in?
I do not. I carry my phone.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's because I'm cheap. It actually was originally because my original phone that I had was 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It was an Android, and I think it was in 4. I think they call that Kit Kat.
Yes, I remember the Kit Kat. Yes.
That was my first phone. I never didn't have a smartphone up until that point, and the only reason I got one was because my husband's work was requiring him to have one. So since they were requiring him to have one, I said, "Good, they can pay for it for you," which they still pay for it for him to this day. So I'm not complaining. But I said, well, since he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get one for myself then. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would just carry it with me on runs. I would just, because at that time, those things, if they existed then, they would not have linked up to that phone.
And then
I don't even know if it has Bluetooth on it.
And then what shoes do you run in?
Brooks, Adrenaline.
Okay.
I have tried other shoes and they just hurt.
I've run in Brooks Adrenaline GTS.
Yes.
But I need to move to Brooks Adrenaline GTS wide.
I didn't know. Is it another?
I think they have wides. I know it.
Oh, just wide width.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, mine are wide width in women's.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll have to get men's, which if you're going to do that, look at the toe tag. because somebody said that, oh, I've had different people say the difference between men's and women's is 1.5 sizes, and I've had people say it's 1 size. The toe tag on Brooke, I can't speak for other manufacturers because I really don't know, but on Brooks specifically, it has centimeters on it. So you'll see like the size for Japan, the size European size.
Yeah.
They also have one that says CM for centimeters. That's how you can know which one's the exact same
Huh.
size in men's and women's. And it's 1 size, by the way, for Brooks anyway.
Okay. Okay.
But that's how I found out, was because I was like, man, these just feel a little too big. And I look and I'm like, oh, because they are. It says right here.
And the reason why I asked that question or those questions is mainly because I've run in Brooks Adrenaline and Asics and Hoka Gaviotas, and I do not run in Nikes, but Peter does run in Nikes. Um, Julia runs in Nikes, I believe. And um, the thing is that I've ran more marathons than you. You've ran more halves than me. Um, but we both run in shoes that fit our feet.
Mhm.
And you don't run in a watch at all. And it doesn't make you any whatever watch you're wearing, for those listening, basically, whatever watch you have on your wrist right this moment, even if it's skin dirty, that watch will get you to a half marathon, because you don't really, back in the 70s, people was running halves and fulls and nobody had GPS watches. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my GPS watch and I'm going to be wearing it. I wear it every day. Um, I've bought 3 so far, but I've not gotten any faster because of my watches. And my shoes, I've somewhat gotten faster on different shoes because my feet feel better. But it's not because I ran in Hokas and they made me fast, or because I ran in Brooks, or because of what I've ran 3 miles in these Nikes I'm wearing right now. I've ran 3 miles of them, and within the first mile, I knew I'd never wear them again for running, because my ankles were rotating,
Mhm.
and it felt horrible.
Yeah. You got to get fitted for shoes. You
Yes.
have to. My very first pair of running shoes, which I don't make anymore, was Saucony Omniflex. I loved those shoes. And they eventually got a hole in them, so I had to replace them. That's when I ended up going with the Brooks Adrenaline, but I need a super stability shoe.
And
So that's why I'm in those.
so get whatever shoe. Go to your local running store. If you're in Louisville, go to Swags. If you're wherever you are, find a local running store. If not, go to Fleet Feet. They're great people. They're not bad people. They're not bad people. They're just not whatever. I support the local guy usually, but if you don't have a local guy, go to Swags. Not a big deal. Um, and there's some people who, if you live remotely, I think Running Warehouse has a video. You could, if you have access to a treadmill, you film yourself running on a treadmill and send it in, and they can analyze your gait and recommend a shoe for you. So I believe that's Runner's Warehouse, or Road Runners, maybe Road Running Sports. I don't know, but find a pair of shoes that fit your feet. If you can go into a store, please do that. If not, go online. There's solutions.
Yeah,
Um,
don't try to get shoes that don't fit your feet, because I've always had wore Brooks Adrenaline. I tried one time and somebody tried to, recommended, hey, maybe you can wear Asics Calculus. Nothing against their shoe. They might have a great shoe. It wasn't for me. I actually ended up having to have surgery on my foot to have a ganglionic cyst removed because of the way that the laces were crossing over the bridge of my foot. It gave me a cyst there that I had to
wow,
get drained. So again, it may be a great shoe,
just not for
me.
you. Okay. Before we close out here, or as we're closing out, is there anything you could speak about the Glass City race, running in general? Is there any closing words you'd like to leave people with?
Well, if you have ever seen me, you know I am very fat. I am. I'm not gonna lie. I am very large, and I just carry it well and hide it. But it doesn't stop me. As of tomorrow, we'll have done 103 lifetime half marathons. I keep going.
103 or 113?
113. Sorry,
Okay.
my bad. 113. Till even I don't know. I hit 100, and I'm like, what? I'm not gonna count these things anymore. But I just keep going, and I don't Don't stop. When people start doing their halves and they're struggling, I'm like, don't stop. Keep going. Just don't stop. Don't think about it. Just keep going.
Keep going. Okay. Well, thank you, Heather. Really appreciate you joining me. Um, I really appreciate you giving me your time and talking about the Glass City Marathon, Toledo, Ohio. Um, we're going to have a great day tomorrow, I believe. We're going to be pacing the Monumental Marathon. It's going to be it's going to be a great time because we're able to choose our own suffering. And, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who wish they could be in our shoes.
This is true.
So, but with that, I just want to remind everybody to run the race you are in, and forward is a pace. Don't forget to like and subscribe.